Hi guys, my name is Vijay. So this is the second video in the series, and in this one I'm going to talk about different data type of Python, and I'll cover the different data types in 2 or 3 videos, and in this one I'll basically touch upon the numerical data type. Okay, so in numerical data type we have three types basically. First one we have integer, another one we have float, and the next one we have a complex data type. Okay, so integer data type we use where we want to represent a whole number without any fractional part. Okay, and it is used for counting and indexing. Suppose if you want to store your age, you can use an integer data type. Okay, and if you want to store how many number of people are there in your team, you can use integer data type. Okay, then we have a float data type. Okay, so float represents a decimal number and it is used in those calculation which involves the fractional values as well. Okay, suppose if you want to store your weight, so your weight can be 60.5, your weight can be 62.5, so there is some fractional part as well. Okay, suppose pi has a fractional part like 3.14159. Okay, so in order to store these kind of values we can use a float number. Okay, now the next one is complex type. Okay, so complex type we used to represent where we have a real and the imaginary part. Okay, and it is used in advanced mathematical calculation and the signal processing, so people rarely use it, but yeah, it has its own applications. So these are just basic differences, so let's jump upon on our ripple and let's see these data types in action, and also we are going to see what all operations we can perform on these data types. So yeah, now we are in our ripple, so I have already written a line of codes here, just not to waste time. So I'll uncomment these lines and we can see these operations. Okay, so before that in Python we can use this pound symbol to comment any line of code. Okay, so yeah, that was one thing. So let's talk about the integer data type. Okay, so let's uncomment this one. So here I'm storing the age 17 in this variable. Okay, and if you see here in the print statement I have used some kind of formatting here. Okay, so this is a f string formatting. Okay, so we can use this to pass some variables that we want to print out. So we need to use this f and single quote and the string that you want to put and then the variable that you want to use. Okay, so let's run this, and also if you see here there is one function that is type function that we can use to get to know what type of variable we are using. Okay, so let's run this one. Okay, so now if you see this, my age is 17 and it is also giving what type of data type this this one has. Okay, so it's a integer data type. Okay, likewise I have this piece of code, so here I'm storing this 10 like number of people. This is also in the integer format, and again I'm using this f string format, and I'm also want to see the type as well. Okay, so let's run this one as well. So if you see here, this is also a integer data type. Okay, so let's move ahead. Now let's talk about float. So as I already mentioned, float has some fractional part also. So if you see this weight, it is in the float format. Also the pi has some fractional part as well. So let's print this out and also check the data type as well. So let's run this. So if you see here, it is getting printed out and also the data type as well, that is float. Okay, now let's move ahead to the complex one. So this is the example for complex. So complex data type we can declare in two ways. One way is simpler one, like, so this is the way through which we can initialize a complex data type. So 3 is the real part and 2 is the imaginary one, okay, with the j. Okay, and also there is another way we can use this complex function to initialize a complex data type. So 1 is real part and -4 is the imaginary part. So let's print this out and also the type of these data type. Okay, so if you see here, it is showing that these are the complex one. Okay, so let's move ahead. So whatever I have discussed so far, so on top of these data type like integer, float and complex, we can perform some uh, operations, like we can perform some arithmetic and comparison operations. Okay, so arithmetic is nothing but where some basic mathematics operations are involved, like we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponential. Okay, so let's discuss these one by one. So this is the addition, so it's simple only. So let me uncomment this and run it. So 5 plus 3, it will be 8. Okay, now let's check the subtraction. 10 minus 4, it will be 6. Okay, then let's check the multiplication. It will be 12. And let's check the division as well. It will be 2.0. So always the result of a division will be in form of float. Okay, now let's move ahead to exponential. So here we want to see what is the, like, 2 to the power of 3, so it will give you 8. Okay, now this modulus is the one which returns the remainder. Okay, remainder of the operation. So here 10 divided by 3 is what will be the remainder? It will be 1. So it will show you the remainder. Okay, now this float division, what it does is, so 10 divided by 3, if we do in mathematics, it will be around 3.33. Okay, but we want to get the integer part, that is 3, and we want to ignore 0.33, so it will give you that integer part, so it will always return 3. So you can see here. Okay, now so here I have performed some mathematical operations or arithmetical operation on float as well, just to give you the example. So let's uncomment this one and it will print the area of a circle. Okay, so area of circle is pi r square. So the radius I'm using in the form of float, and also this pi is in the form of float. So using that circle formula, I'm figuring out the area. So let's run this as well. So this is the area of a circle using this 2.5 as a radius. Okay, and also we can perform same kind of operations with the complex data type as well. Suppose here I want to figure out z1 multiplied by z2. So let's run this. So it is 8 minus 1j. Okay, so so far we have covered these arithmetic operations, and we have the comparison operation as well. So these are just basic comparison that we do with numbers, like less than equal to, greater than equal to and not equal to. Okay, so let's uncomment this one and let's run this in one go, and let me comment all the previous line just to show you only this result. Okay, so here I'm just comparing 5 and 10 with the different comparison operator. Okay, so let's run this, and always this comparison operation, it will result true or false. Okay, I'll talk about this true or false. So this is a boolean data type in Python. I'll talk about this in the later video, but yeah, it will always return the result into true or false. Okay, so if we go through these operations one by one, we can easily come to know what is happening. Like p less than 5, like 5 is less than 10, yeah, that is true. Okay, so likewise it is comparing through all the different comparison operator. Okay, and below is the example. It's a similar to one that I have showed you before, but yeah, in one go I'm using all the different arithmetic operation in this piece of code. Okay, so let's run this as well. Okay, so you can see the result for all these variables. Okay, so that's it guys. I wanted to cover in this video. So we basically learned about the numerical data type and what are the different types. So maybe in next video I'll cover some other data types. Okay, so stay tuned to my channel and do like, share and subscribe with your friends. Thank you.